This is a short video on how to install the 2014 versions of Premiere Pro, Audition and After Effects. So you've been given a USB which contains the files I've got on the screen here. There are files for the Mac and there's also files for Windows. Let's talk about the Mac first. Now this only applies to you if you've got a Mac PC. So for the Mac, you're going to need 3 files, and actually 4. You're going to need the 3 DMG files here, and this one here, this .serialization.zip. That's used to license the software. Now you may not need that because you've already licensed the software before, but copy it anyway. If you run into trouble, you just have to extract that serialization zip file and run Adobe Serialization contained within it. But onto installing for the Mac platform, you just copy those DMG files and the zip and just copy them to your C drive or your desktop and just install them how you would any other DMG file. Now for a Windows platform, it's a little bit trickier. Now the files you need to copy are basically everything but the DMG files. So I'm just highlighting them now. I've got these ones. Okay, so they're the ones you want to copy. Okay, now once you've copied those to your desktop, there are several ways to install these, but the easiest one to install first is Audition. So Audition is this one, Audition 7 ls20.exe. Now because it's a exe file, you can just run that. Just double click it and run it. So it's running at the moment. It's taking a little bit of time. Okay, it's going to ask you to extract to a certain location. It's by default it's picked my desktop, which is fine. Go next. You can delete any files that this installation creates later, so don't worry about that. It's going to take a bit of time, but most of it will be self-explanatory. Nearly there. Okay, now on this occasion, because I've had other things going, I got this message. You may not get this, but just to keep in mind, if you do get it, installer has detected that a machine restart may be pending. It's recommended that you quit the installer, restart your machine, and try installing again. Now, if you do get that message, yes, you can quit and just restart, okay? And then you can go back to your desktop and find Audition and find this setup.exe and you run that. Now, there's not much to it when you're running that. On this occasion, I'm going to ignore the message, but I don't suggest you do that. You should restart. Okay, now Adobe Audition's come up, and you're given 2 options, install and try. Now I want you to pick try rather than install. So click on try, and it's going to ask you to sign in. So you do need an Adobe account. Okay, so if you don't have one, you'll have to sign up and get one. But most of you should have one now. So just sign in. Okay, accept a license agreement and click install. Okay, so I won't show you the rest of the steps for that, but hopefully you can follow it from now on. Now I'm just going to go back to, that was Audition, that's the easiest one to install. Now the other ones aren't too hard, it just takes a couple more steps. So I'll just get back to those. Okay, now Premiere Pro and After Effects, they're actually 7 zip files. And I know there's 7 zip files because there's a .7z, okay? So both of these are 7 zip files. Now, these are like your standard zip files, and they do need to be extracted, meaning that there are files contained within this 7-zip file, and you've got to extract those files out of this 7-zip file. Now, to do that, you need to install 7-zip. You may have the application like WinRAR, which is perfectly fine, you can use that. But if you don't, install 7-zip. So I've copied, on your USB, you'll find the 7-zip installers, these two files. So one is for 32-bit computers, and the other's for 64-bit. So it is important for this exercise that you pick the right one. So that's a 32-bit, that's a 64-bit, because you may not get a right-click context menu if you've got a 64-bit machine, but you use the 32-bit installer. Okay, so how to check whether you've got 64-bit or 32-bit? Well, go to My Computer, or they call it now This PC. So hopefully you can see that. This PC might be in another location. And right-click on that and go to Properties. And it tells you some information about your computer. The one we're interested in is System Type. And there it says 64-bit operating system. Okay, so I'm going to use this 64-bit installer. So I'll double click on that, and this will install 7-zip for me. Okay, and once you get that, close. Okay, so now if it's worked properly, 7-zip installer, when you right click, you're going to get this right click context menu, 7-zip. Okay, then I'm going to go to extract to After Effects. Okay, now this is going to take a bit of time. So while that's going, I'm going to extract the Premiere Pro one as well. 7-zip, extract to Premiere Pro. Okay, so once these have finished extracting, and they will take a bit of time, you follow the same procedure as you did with installing Audition. Okay, so it's still going, isn't it? Okay, but basically the same procedure. Once these are finished extracting, just go into there, and you will eventually see this setup.exe file, the same as we had with the Audition folder. Let's see how this one's going. Okay, we won't worry about that, but you remember, I'll just open my Audition folder again. Once it has finished extracted, just click into it, keep on clicking until you see setup.exe, and follow the same process as you did with Audition to install After Effects and Premiere Pro.